A very, very beautiful evening to you. You're welcome to Sport Extraordinary on Atlantic Television Network. Of course, today promises to be another exciting edition of the show as we have a lot, of course, for you this evening. We're going to be talking about the UEFA Champions League games we saw yesterday, and as well some of the games that will be played tonight. And we'll talk about the title chase in the Premier League. Arsenal will lock horns against Wolverhampton Wanderers today, and we'll see if maybe they can, of course, extend their lead on the Premier League table. A lot, of course, to talk about when it has to do with the Nigerian Premier Football League. Rivers United, of course, they've given the Nigerian Premier Football League an edge when it comes to continental competitions. We'll talk about that as well as so many other stories revolving around the beautiful water sport this evening. We'll take a break. When we return, we'll unravel all that you need to know revolving around the beautiful water sport. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Yeah, welcome back. See Sports Extraordinary on Atlantic Television Network. Joining me this evening is Ekpo Temple. Good evening to you and welcome to the show.
Yes, it's glad to be here today.
All right, let's quickly take a look at athletics on the show this evening as the Athletic Integrity Unit of World Athletics has handed a 3-year ban to Nigeria's long-distance runner Blessing Solomon after she tested positive for a prohibited substance, trimethoprim. Trimethoprim is a medication used to prevent angina attacks, sudden pains in the chest, jaw, or back brought by physical exertion. It was first classified as a metabolic modulator by the World Anti-Doping Agency in 2014 and has been included on its prohibited list as a substance banned both in and out of competition. According to a press statement released by the Athletic Integrity Unit this week, Solomon was tested at the premium at the half marathon down there in Abuja. However, as this of course is going on, it's really a very, very troubling time, at this point. Temple, what do you make of it? Another Nigerian, athletes being banned for taking a prohibited substance.
Not a good news. I mean, when you hear that athletes are banned, you expect that it should not be a Nigerian, and unfortunately, this is happening. So I don't think any Nigerian will be happy that we have once again, made news at this level. I'm just thinking that athletes sometimes, they forget that they are under more like the watchful eyes of the Athletic Integrity Unit. The moment you are an elite athlete, there are certain things you don't take, whether intentionally or inadvertently, you don't take those things, so that you are not culpable of the rules that you swore to. And it's unfortunate, but we're yet to get to see how the Athletics Federation of Nigeria will react to this. This is going to be another dent. In the coming days, we will talk about it again, because the issue now, we know how we exaggerate things in this part of the climb, and that the Nigerian has fallen foul of the rules of IAU. It's another dent altogether. But like I said, it's a developing story. It's a new story that just popped out. We're going to see how the Athletic Federation of Nigeria will react to this. But it's very unfortunate because the young girl in question, except she goes to appeal, which is very unlikely, it's difficult to really take this type of ban, because the moment the IAU fought you, they would have done everything possible. And the test has proven that you have defaulted. Come on, so I feel for her, because her career will be hanging on the balance. It takes a whole lot to come back from a ban. When you are banned, it takes a whole lot to come back and still continue the sports. But I just hope that she will take this in good faith.
A very difficult one at this point, for Solomon now. She, however, did not contest the charge. Therefore, her initial 4-year period of ineligibility was reduced to 3 years, commencing from February 5, 2026. And the Athletic Integrity Unit also called for the disqualification of Solomon's result from December 6, 2025, with all resulting consequences, including the forfeiture of any titles, award, medals, points, prizes, and appearance money. And the Abuja half marathon, Solomon finished second in a time of about 1 hour 16 minutes 28.69 seconds behind Kenya's Mercy Joe Moore, who won in 1 hour 14.53.28 seconds down there. So really a very huge setback at this point in time, of course, for Solomon. But this particular substance she took, was actually being banned by the Athletic Integrity Unit. Is it that she doesn't know that taking such a substance is not good heading down to such competition?
So yeah, sometimes these athletes, they know, but they think that the Athletics Integrity Unit, the moment you're an elite athlete, you have to show yourself. You have to show at least every 24 hours. You have to make out 1 hour for you to be tested. That's how it is. Every elite athlete, you have to always make it 1 hour every day of your life to be tested, because athlete integrity unit can show up for tests. So sometimes when they take these things, they know, but they just feel that it's difficult, maybe because of where their location and all that. And sometimes they forget that before you flush out that stuff in your body, a whole lot, you are under the watch eye of the athletics integrity unit. So whether it's in Nigeria, whether it's anywhere, they can get you, and then sometimes this thing stays in the body for as long as you never can tell. You took something now and it stays in your body until it's in your blood. So the moment the blood sample is taken to be tested, it's clearly just shows, because it's a liquid. It's not something you get to see. So that's where the problem is. So sometimes they think that they can be smarter than at the AAU, but I mean, you can't cheat nature all the time. And sometimes when it happens like this, you can't just say. Thank God she's not even contested, because I mean, it would have been a very tough one if she had.
It was a very good time, for Solomon, and we hope that she'll be able to put herself, of course, in order, try most can, to guide herself properly, going forward in this points in time. All right, so let's quickly move on as we'll bring you the latest from football, as Nigeria will have 2 teams in the Champions League and 2 in the Confederation Cup for the 2026 and 2027 season, after strong continental showings by Rivers United helped the country remain in CAF top 12 rank associations. The Confederation of African Football allocates 4 interclub places, 2 in the CAF Champions League and 2 in the CAF Confederation Cup, to 8 highest ranked nations based on 5-year coefficient system. Nigeria among the 12 countries to benefit from the expanded slots, alongside Egypt, Morocco, Algeria, South Africa, Tanzania, Tunisia, Angola, DR Congo, Sudan, Mali, and Ivory Coast. Mali move into the top 12 at the expense of Libya, who drop out of the rankings. Rivers United played a decisive role in safeguarding Nigeria's quota after reaching the group stage of for the Champions League for the first time in the club's history. Their progression marked the first time in almost 7 years that a Nigerian side advanced to the stage of the competition, to that stage of the competition, earning valuable coefficient points for the country. In contrast, Nigeria's other representative at the 2025 and 2026 season endured early exits. NPFL champions Remo Stars were humbled by Mamelodi Sundowns in the second round of the Champions League. Abia Warriors and Kwara United were all eliminated in the first preliminary round of the Confederation Cup. What do you make of the performance, of the NPFL side in the continent, despite the poor showing of Rivers United and others? They of course still make up. They were still able to get 2 slots in the CAF Champions League and the CAF Confederation Cup. How will you assess the performance? Will you commend them for what they've done?
For Rivers United, I think that what they've done in the CAF Champions League is abysmal in terms of performance. But when you know that no Nigerian team have even qualified to play at this level, you also have to give them some kudos. So if no Nigerian team have qualified to play in the CAF Champions League group stage, what does that tell you? It tells you that there is a systemic challenge, and so it's not just about Rivers United. So the struggle that we saw Rivers United is just a reflection of the league itself. Okay, so and with that struggle, and with the fact that they were able to qualify, give Nigeria the advantage. I think they are ranked 10th now, and then they are, courtesy of that, they are still in contention. If you are ranked outside the 12th league, team or league thereabout, you will not have the opportunity to feed, those slots. So let's appreciate them for once. This is not the first time they've done that. Even in CAF, the same thing to when they were playing the CAF Confederation Cup. It was through their effort of getting to at least quarterfinals. I think the quarterfinals is when they lost to Simba FC. Remember, that was what gave us the right to even have back our 2 slots in the Champions League. So, courtesy of Rivers United, we've been able to enjoy some luxuries. Otherwise, we'll be talking about 3 slots, But then let's see how it goes. I'm just thinking that it's an eye opener when you see teams like the Moroccans team, the Egyptians, and the South Africans. They are challenging for honors. Year in year out, they are always showing strong strength in the chat. You cannot talk about the quarterfinals and that's team from Morocco, a team from Egypt, a team from Algeria, a team from South Africa. It's going to be surprising not to see these big countries. So you ask yourself, why is Nigeria not, even as lowly ranked as Tanzania, which is not possible because they are one of the best 5 or 6 even in Africa. Tanzania, this thing, they are showing Simba, they are showing strength. So the coefficient you built for 5 years for Rivers United have really aided us thus far from playing in the CAF Confederation Cup to playing in the CAF Champions League. They have given us Remo Star. Look at a team as Remo Stars, who a lot of person thought that with the ownership right and all that will bolster the team. But look at how they are struggling. So even not for any team, when we hear things like this, you know that yes, Rivers United may not have done very well in their outing, but their effort cannot be jeopardized because of what they have done for Nigeria.
So this is actually a very huge one at this point in time. Despite the poor outing, Nigeria, the MPFL still got 2 slots in the CAF Champions League and 2 in the CAF Confederation Cup. But how will you assess the performance, of the MPFL teams in the continent, especially in the last 3 or 4 seasons now?
The MPFL teams have not done. There's nothing to write home about, except for Rivers United, who have been struggling to see how far they can write their name. And for Rivers United too, they get rewarded for playing. So it's like a business for them. They qualify, they try to qualify, and they make more money by qualifying. So it's a win-win situation. If they spend half of what they get back, it's still something. And all of that also built on. It all depends on the administrators. I think that the league needs to do more. I don't know. The league is like a confederation. The top echelon, the center does not possess much power to control the affairs. So the power emanates from the units. The clubs have powers more than the board. The board cannot function without it's like a franchise. It's an agreement. All the franchises came together, the clubs, to own this league. And so that's why you see that the powers of the league body is a little bit limited, especially in the area of coordinating finances and all that. But I think that the NFF needs to do more because they are the owners of football. Even what happens to the league is down to the NFF. How far have they been running football? The league board chairman is a member of the NFF, and I think that with a commission, with us running a commission like the Nigerian Sports Commission now, I think that Shehu Diko, they should go back, look into the league and see what is happening. There's brain drain. All right, we don't have enough capacity, enough players to strengthen our clubs. We don't have them anymore. We don't even have enough, we don't even have enough things that keeps us going, like club licensing procedures. That's why we don't have good stadia, in the country. And this is an internal epidemic. If they are not strengthened, it becomes a systemic challenge over time. If we are still suffering, from crowd violence, these are things that have, a league that want to have those the shape that we desire for the continent needs to cover. I'm not saying that there's no league that is devoid of there's any league that is devoid of crowd violence, because almost every league in the world, at some point, you see those things just come out. That's football. But I'm talking about if you have those things, minimized, then you can start building. So there are some systemic issues that need to be addressed. Welfare of players across board. Those who manage the affairs of players in the country should look deep into some of these things and see how far they need to. And then employers, the board should encourage employers. But like I said, do they have the powers? But the way you can do is to educate, encourage, and create more awareness that players needs to be, work out for. The rights of players should be given priority by clubs. And you ask yourself, how many states is willing to pay a player 1 million naira in this country? So these are some of the challenges that we have, and that's why players do not stay. And when players do not stay, depth of talent in the league can be another problem altogether, and it's really affecting Nigeria. So I think that yes, the ball is trying, but the ball needs to do more, to keep up with the current trend of how things or how a league is on. Because it's not about Rivers United, it's about other clubs, Rainbow Stars, Enugu Rangers. Just mention all the players that have won the league. None of them have been able to, except for Rivers United. So you see that still Rivers United is pushing because maybe they have a better structure as compared to others, or maybe they are willing to do that money as compared to others. Where others fail to achieve other things. Rivers United at least they try, to still see how far they can keep up with their obligations.
All right, let's see how it is. Rivers United trying to help the Nigerian Premier Football League. Of course, they have done that. Their performance so far, has helped the league to regain 2 slots in the Champions League, CAF Champions League, 2 as well in the CAF Confederation Cup. So we'll keep our fingers crossed, and see how it goes. But still talking about the Nigerian Premier Football League, we hear that some fans of Enyimba Football Club of Aba have asked the club's chairman and former African Footballer of the Year, Kanu Anko, to resign or risk being beaten for allegedly leading the club towards relegation. The 9-time Nigerian Premier Football League champions have seen their fortune decline over the last 2 seasons, and they currently sit 14th in the league table with 31 points from 26 matches. Enyimba finished 6th in the 2024 and 2025 season with 55 points, failing to secure a continental ticket. A minimum expectation for the club in recent years, although their performances in continental competitions lately have also been underwhelming. Kanu Anko was appointed chairman of the 2-time CAF Champions League winners in 2023, and after they won their 9th league title, and the former international is now in his 3rd year at the helm, but fans appear to have grown frustrated. Amid the crisis rocking the club. What do you make of it? The fans are saying that Kanu Anko should resign or he'll be beaten, at this point in time. What do you make of it? The decline of Enyimba Football Club in the last 2 or 3 seasons, will you attribute it to Kanu Anko?
Arguably 2 things are in club. If you keep sacking coaches and then it's not working, sometimes people will now look at both coaches and ask some pertinent questions. What about the off-field activity? Who manages the day in and day out running of the club? So this is where the fans are beginning to understand that sometimes it may not all be about the coaches or the players. It may all be about the administrators, the management. And Kanu Anko is at the hands of the administrators. So you see, fans can be disgruntled. They can be discontent with activities of a club, and you cannot blame them because they have a very strong stake in the club. Kanu Anko made the club, flying high. I'm sure he has heard reports or he knows that Enyimba has a very strong heritage when it comes to making Nigeria proud. It used to be the only team making Nigeria proud at the level of the continent. Now they're even struggling in the league. So fans can be very, very difficult to manage in this regard. I also think that if not for someone like Kanu Anko, I'm sure that the man who appointed him, the governor of the state, would have also sacked him. Really simple. A lot of persons have accused him of not being strong enough to do what we saw from Ian Siago when he was at the helm of affairs. Ian Siago did a whole lot of good and dirty jobs to ensure that this team continues to soar high the continent. Not talk of competing in the league. This time around, they even barely compete in the league. Like they are nowhere. So what happens in a case like this is fans will naturally show their discontent, and then fans will push the club to make a statement in that regard. We saw it in Manchester United, we saw it in Chelsea, and the club will be forced because at some point they too will understand that, come on, it's not about us, it's about the fans, and if the fans are making plea, I'm also sure that some persons are also using the fans now because Kanu is a legend in Nigeria, he's a respected figure, so not many will be bold enough to come before him to say resign. The only people that can push Kanu to resign is the fans. And who are the fans? A conglomerate of people. You cannot pinpoint one to say this is a fan telling me to resign. So you see that it could even be an agenda from within the club, pushing these fans to make this comment. But as the result in turning out, are they right in their assertions? Yes, of course, they are right. The result isn't turning out, but
so is Kanu the problem?
Oh, it could be. It could be because the management of a team matters so much. How you run a firm matters. How people sees it. You cannot be sacking 2-3 coaches, and then things have not changed. The players, and things have not changed, and then things are not going the way it should go in the club. Fans, people are watching, so I think that nobody, the moment what's it called, the guys from Uyo, the team, what's the name of the team again in Uyo, we were delegated. The boards, the governor sat on the board, all the board members. So if a team like in Europe, why it's owned by the stakeholders or maybe an owner, if the things isn't doing well, the board restricts the right to say you out, get to fix certain persons. So I'm also thinking that what is keeping Kanu there, sincerely speaking, is the fact that he's a legend of Nigeria and he's a respected figure. Otherwise, I'm sure that they would have called for his head. They just recently sacked the sporting director. So when they can sack the sporting director, won't stop them from moving or changing the management of the team. You don't deserve it, and you just see them get on land management altogether. But Kanu should take it as a responsibility to do more. Maybe, perhaps he's also trying. He could have been trying behind the scene, but come on, whatever you are doing behind the scene that does not reflect in the open is a wake-up call for him.
All right, so it's really a big issue at this point in time. The fans are saying, Kanu Nwankwo, you have to resign. The team Mimba is not doing well under you, and you have to resign as you risk, of course, being beaten by the fans and at this point in time. Well, the crisis affecting the team on the pitch is mirrored in the back room, where coach Deji Ayeni, appointed by Kanu, is currently in charge, while the Abia State government has also appointed and unveiled another coach, Emmanuel Dodge, to take over the team. While Ayeni led the team's training section this week, Dodge was unveiled at the Eyimba International Stadium by the state deputy governor Ikechukwu Emetu. The state government also appointed Daniel Ike as the club's sporting director 2 weeks ago, but Kanu appointed former international Uche Ogechukwu to the same role. Recently, reports emerged that the Abia State government was probing the club's management over the $1 million African Football League prize money received for participating in the 2023 edition of the tournament. Now, players have also protested over unpaid allowances. Reports in Aba indicate that the state government is seeking a detailed breakdown of expenditures, including player-related costs, logistics, administration, and any infrastructural or operational spending tied to CAF funds. So there's a battle between Kanu Nwankwo and the state government. All right, why the state government has appointed Emmanuel Dodge. Kanu is also working with Deji Ayeni as the coach. They appointed a new director. Kanu also appointed a new director at this point in time. So I don't know what you make of the battle between this Kanu Nwankwo and the state government.
That's what I said. I say if it's someone else, I'm sure that the governor would have made a formal pronouncement. I don't know what the governor is.
I think, for what I'm saying, the governor is not really in this. I think it's those working for the governor fighting probably with Kanu Nwankwo at this point in time.
I agree, and the governor will always win. Yeah, the governor will always win. See, the governor may not want to interfere because it's Kanu. He brought in Kanu. Kanu is a respected figure. And another person would have told him that, see, Kanu brings naturally to some sort of image. It will not be Kanu per se, involving in some of this scandal. But when your administration is involved in scandalous activities, then you too you are involved. All right. So I think that the battle between Kanu and others is just a show of strength. But it looks as though he who pays the piper decides the tune. If the people working for the governor are fighting they are fighting Kanu, who pays Kanu? Who pays others? So the governor will need to have a say in this particular one. And I think that the governor, I think I heard him make a statement in that regards of the sporting director when they changed him. It was the governor who said that there needs to be change, that things cannot continue to go the old ways. So, I mean, you cannot say that the governor does not have a clear hands in all of this. But like I said, after that time too, we saw, after the appointment of Emmanuel Dodge, we saw the governor went into a close meeting with Kanu Nwankwo. What did they discuss? And why are we still having all of this news popping out from the Eyimba camp? So I'm thinking that enough of some of these things, and people, it's no longer funny. One have to step down, and if you ask me, Kanu Nwankwo, we have to step down for the governor, because you have to accept the fact, except he proves beyond reasonable doubt that Ayeni is a man to beat. But I don't think that will happen anytime soon.
Because why, they were unveiling Emmanuel Dodge, Ayeni was busy training the players, at this point in time. So you could see the issue between them at this point in time. Don't forget, earlier, the governor also called the management of the team under Kanu Nwankwo to come and, explain how the $1 million that was gotten from the CAF, African, Super League, was spent. $1 million, that's over $1 billion naira. And you ask yourself, how did they manage to spend that money? What did they use it for? Did they use it to renovate the stadium? Even till today, the players are still complaining of their allowances not being paid. Do you think the administration of Kanu Nwankwo, you think they did not properly maybe make use of the money, because such a amount of money would have gone a long way in shaping the team?
Of course. But then you ask us, 1 billion naira is nothing. It's okay. It's a big money in Nigeria. Yes, it's a big money, because when you talk about 1 billion, you're talking about above 999 million naira. That means it's a big money. So if such fund is invested, in fact, with 200 million, you should be able to settle outstanding debts of players if you truly want to be sincere. So, but then you ask yourself, has the money been given to? If the money has been given, maybe there are other internal projects. But where are the projects when the governor, is not aware? If there is no transparency in the money, 1 billion naira is not child's money in Nigeria. Because like I said, 200 million can settle players' allowances, depend on the long time and their contract. So I don't know how these expenditures are done, but I can tell you, a sincere administration, it becomes like water. You can see it through it. So people are still questioning the money given by CAF, that money has been expended. Then you have to prove beyond reasonable doubt where the money was expended. Because come on, if you see such amount of money, you need to be able to say this is. I know that recurrent expenditures of clubs can be very high. I know, but then you need to be able to prove that this is what it was used. And sometimes these things are inflated. They inflate this budget to make the state government go high. So whenever this external fund comes in, you need to also tell them, because even as external funds are coming in, you need to show them that truly you are in for something.
And some persons are also attributing this whole issue to Kanu Nwankwo, inexperience in managing a team. This is the first time he's holding the position of a chairman of a particular team. Eyimba was actually the first team, looking at after his playing days, this is the first team he's managing, as a chairman. Do you think inexperience could have possibly been the reason why Kanu Nwankwo find it difficult to manage a team like Eyimba Football Club?
I think so. Those who pushed him from him to be given will always have a stake. The Godfather thing in Nigeria, even if he's a legend, because nobody believed that he would get that position, to be sincere. Nobody believed it, how they lobbied it and how he got it. And also will tell you that those who lobbied for him to get to that level might be the ones in charge. And sometimes you cannot fight those who feed you or who gave you that opportunity. It's difficult. It's like politics. So I think that's where the problem is coming from. But I think that if he continues to stand behind them, they will rubbish his image and his reputation. And that's what is happening right now. Kanu is a respected figure, like I said before now. And it's discouraging to hear that he's engulfed in things like this. So you ask yourself, even if he leaves the club now, people will now see him as not being good enough to manage administration, which may not be true, because he might have given position of administration to other persons, and now he can't account for them. Whatever happens now, he takes the bullet, because it is on his order that those funds were allocated to those persons or the positions of authority were given. So, I mean, he answers administrative issues, and he's entitled, to some of these things. We saw the inexperience in the part of Eto at some point when he stayed the Federation president anyway in Cameroon. But the inexperience also affected him, in taking certain decisions. So inexperience can make you take certain decisions that before you know what is happening, this is not Europe. So if you bring the standard of Europe, it may not work perfectly. And since then they said he will rebrand the team and do all that. How far has it? What can you hold on to say Kano has already done for Yimba Football Club, except for the stake that he brought, sponsorship. And I think that beyond all of these rhetorics, this is Nigeria, we need to tell ourselves the truth. Yimba Football Club cannot be suffering, and because of certain persons. There needs to be a closed door meeting where they need to tell themselves the truth. Why is this club not moving forward? What can we do to move the club forward? And who's responsible? Only then can we get a new branded Yimba.
But what do you make of it? Our ex-internationals, they find it difficult to make impacts, when they come back home. All right, this is the case of Kanu Anko we're talking about now. The other time, I think Jojo Kucha, I think the football FA of one state as well. We'll talk about Ahmed Musa, who is currently the manager of Kanu Pillars as well. Is still struggling. What do you make of it? Our ex-internationals find it difficult to make impacts, when they retire and come back home.
Of course, because it's difficult to really pinpoint one who has really, make exploit. I'm just thinking of a name that has changed the narrative of football administration, or maybe coaching, maybe if you need a judge, just maybe if you need a judge, okay. But I think, or maybe Samson Siasia. Yeah, maybe Samson Siasia too. But it's not been easy because when you play in Europe and you come back, the mentality is different. You are seen as